Tony, have you ever been chained to somebody and forced to do co-op with them?
That sounds like hell.
That is hell, yeah. Especially when
okay.
one of them goes AFK immediately.
You had to pull
That's
them
my
with you.
friend psychologist Jesse did.
Is it possible to complete it if 1 out of 4 people are gonna AFK? Is that actually possible?
You can pull them so much, like you can pull the chain to pull your friend across.
Yeah.
But you can only for jumps. I don't think so. Nah.
Right.
You kind of need them
That's
to
what I
jump a
thought.
bit.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So I'm playing. I'm trying to remember. Psychologist Jesse from Hellblade. We've got. Is it Halo Andy? I can't. Is it RuneScape Andy? Halo Andy? Hearthstone Andy?
A hell diving Andy.
I'm always playing games with my friend Care, but I actually don't think we have a nickname for Care. So we'll just.
I think K's already the nickname.
Northern Care.
North. Yeah. Definitely in the north.
But yeah. Much like everybody else in the world, I have been playing Chained Together. I think this game has gone like gangbusters. It's very popular now.
Yeah.
I just saw people streaming it, and at first I was like, it feels like a streamer bait game, but the more I watched of it, I was like, you know what, it actually does look pretty fun. Because I've talked about these games before, and I've played like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. And I really liked that game, but it felt like a lot of the other, like, I think Jump King looks like it could be fun, but a lot of the games, like this is very close to Only Up, which came out last year, which was fairly popular. And that looked like something I wouldn't want to do by myself, but the thing is, I really enjoy playing stuff with friends, even if it's experience that's not as fun if I was doing it by myself. The fact that I'm doing it with friends can make it a lot more enjoyable.
More involvement with friends is always nice.
But so basically, the way this game works is obviously the 4 of you are chained together. Tony, you can even have interlinked chains if you would like. So you can make it so that the first person is chained to the 4th person. Yeah. I always hosted the lobby, so I was always the first chain, because a lot of my friends are like, you don't want to be the middle chain. It's the worst. You're constantly getting pulled and you're constantly getting held back. And I was like, well, I'm always the first chain because I'm hosting the lobby, so I never know what that's like. But yeah, basically the idea is you're in hell, you're trying to get to heaven, which is at the top, and you need to do it by timing jumps together. So when I started playing, they'd already done an update, so there is actually a button you can press now, which makes it so it'll do like because we were counting down on Discord and people were like, oh, it's not, because of latency, it's not in sync. But there's a button now you can press which will do like a countdown time to be like 3, 2, 1 jump, and it'll do it through the game, so it'll be in sync for everyone.
That's a good update for sure. So it wasn't in the game when it first launched.
No, I think that was added like. I mean, this game came out in this month, like the 10th of July.
Oh right.
It's not that old of a game, but I think the actual button was added like a week or so afterwards. I did see on the Steam store page, I had like a thing. You know what? You get the Steam news at the top of your Steam library.
Yeah.
It said that there's a in-game level editor and they're adding workshop support, which I think was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Because I would love to play like some user maps on this game, because I think they have a good base game.
Oh yeah.
Here.
I think there could be some real
we got
troll. Perhaps they'd be creative with that.
Doctor PDF in the chat. I mean, PDF file.
Wait, what? What's that reference to?
Did you not see the news recently? I mean, it's a tangerine. We can talk about anything.
Yeah, we can tangerine.
It finally got released why Doc was banned off Twitch.
Oh, okay. But why? But why PDF?
Because he's a doc. And people... Right.
Okay,
so like a joke that PDF sounds like pedophile, so people call them PDFs.
Oh, okay. Right, that's the bit of information I was missing.
Or you say like people who are into like lolicon, like JPEGs. So that'd be another connection to file extensions.
I've never heard that either. Okay.
Well, if they're into that, then they would be into PDF JPEGs. But like, there's a streamer There's a big streamer called Soda Popper, and his girlfriend is a VTuber called Vebe, and people always says, yeah, your girlfriend's your girlfriend's a JPEG, like because she's a
Right.
VTuber.
Right.
I'm just giving you the deep lore
I like
on Twitch.
Yeah, I liked the information. I'm just out of touch.
I mean, this
with the
is
kids,
this
that's all
is like a streamer game, and every time you see like a game, you're like, oh, this looks cool on YouTube videos and on Twitch. You have to ask yourself the question: is this actually fun if I play it, or me and my friends get together and play it?
You have to think about how would you actually play, yeah.
And after playing through the entire game with some friends, it was really fun actually. I quite enjoyed this game. I will say that we played, because there's several modes. So the way that when you play on normal, you have it set up so if you fall, you go all the way to the bottom and you have to start again. But the way we played it, that's the normal mode. But we're playing on beginner mode. And the way beginner mode works is you basically get 3 checkpoints. So you can use checkpoints if you want. But there's also a button that just immediately teleports you to your highest reach point. So every time you miss a jump, you can be like, okay, we'll just go back to the last place where we're at. So it's like super beginner friendly, which I think is cool because like, obviously I'm not a streamer. I don't need the challenge of completing this all in one run and getting really frustrated and spending like 20 hours trying to finish it.
Yeah.
But you still get that excitement of doing like tricky jumps with friends, but it's a lot more casual sort of thing. So this is what would normally happen before I figured out you could teleport. To the highest point.
So this is before you knew there was a button in the... Is it in the escape? You just like press escape? And
yeah, there's no dedicated like button bind. You have to press escape and then reset to the highest reach point, and it's only the host that can do it as well.
Okay.
There was some weird stuff going on where like me and my friend Andy were way faster than my friend Katie, and I think that your movement might actually be timed to your frame rate, because she was playing at 60 and we were playing at like 120 plus, and we were always moving faster than her.
That is interesting.
Because that was something in the options. Cause I have a 240 hertz screen, and I was like, okay, I'll put it on 240, but it's like the maximum you can do is 144, and I wonder if they made it so you could, like, you had to have a capped frame rate, is because the game would break with an uncapped frame rate because of how FPS is tied to movement. It seems like. I'm not 100% sure on that.
That's a weird thing if that is the case, but interesting. Not seen that in a long time.
But yeah, the game is very simple. Like, it's clearly like what looks like Unreal Engine, and then a bunch of like assets off an asset store, like strung together and then put precariously. But
kind of charm,
yeah, but it is still very like fun. It reminds me of Pal World from earlier this year, where it was clearly more simply made and was using a lot of like those assets and stuff, and it was clearly
for the environment,
banking on other people's ideas, which this game is as well. But the thing is, if it's fun and it's not being done in a predatory way, which I don't think either of those games were, like, doesn't matter, sort of thing.
And especially if it's not been done in the same way anywhere else, like what else you just have fun with it.
But the cool thing was beginner mode, you can teleport and stuff. There's also, so normal mode, you have to, if you fall, you have to like keep you have to try and grab onto something. So there is kind of like soft checkpoints, I guess, because there'll be ledges you can grab onto while you're falling. As you're going through the game, there are these things called wings you can get, and if you collect all 10 wings, you then get access to these wings that will basically make it so you can kind of glide when you fall. So there's even like a way to make it easier if you're doing like the other runs. You can turn wings mode on, and then you'll be able to like fall slower, and you'll be able to grab onto edges easier. I think most of the wings are like higher up, so you kind of have to get to the end first before you get wings. But I guess it's like you can get them in beginner mode, and you can do them in any save slot as well, just as long as you pick them up. So like you could grab a couple of wings on like your first save, and then you'll join somebody else, and you can grab the other wings you don't have on their save if you wanted to. Like we went through and we grabbed all the wings. Which is cool.
I guess that's like a good goal first of all, right? To try and get the wings.
But there's also because there's another mode as well, which if you were like, oh, normal mode sounds too easy, there's also a mode called lava mode where there's literally like rising lava coming up after you, so if you fall and you touch the lava, it kills you and you have to start again. So there's no like saving yourself unless you grab onto a ledge sort of thing. But then even then you always have to be quicker. You have to go faster than the lava is, so that's like the ultimate speed run test, right? So I finished the game and began. So I wonder how much footage I have, because I think we're mostly in hell. Like here. Oh, I need to show you there's car driving in this game.
Wait, what? Why?
And it controls awfully, but that kind of makes sense for the game that we're doing it in.
Yeah, I guess you're in hell. I guess that makes sense. Oh my god.
There was lots of different like themings. Like you went from hell to like there was a city theme where you climbed up buildings, and there was like a magnet that picked you up. There was enough ideas where it was constantly like, okay, we're jumping from like random assets to random assets, but there's enough new like mechanics and ideas that it kept it going, kept it being fun. Like ultimately the game isn't like super long, especially in like something like beginner mode where you can keep resetting. Like I think it only took us like, I think we played it over the course of 2 days in beginner mode. Okay. But like for example, my friend Kate was like, oh, let's play it 2-player and play it in normal mode, and I was like, yeah, okay. And I think we played for like 45 minutes, and I was like, we are exactly at the start still because we kept falling. So we made like in the 45 minutes of playing, we made 0 process. So
right.
Because I was like, should we do it with wings on? And she's like, no wings. We can make it. And I'm like, I don't know about this. Because after we completed the game, I was curious because I looked up some of the 4-player speedruns, and my assumption was that, based on my video game knowledge, that wings would probably break trampolines because trampolines equal insane momentum, and then wings let you sort of, you can almost like jump higher or levitate higher when you are on a trampoline. So basically you sort of like strafe jump onto a trampoline, and it lets you like skip large parts of the game. And I just loaded up a solo run of me with wings on, and I managed to complete the game in, I think it took me about an hour without like using a guide or anything. I was just like, oh, I reckon if I basically every time I saw a trampoline, I knew I was going to skip a large part of the game.
How long did it normally? Did it the first time? Sorry, like how many hours?
How long did it take us? I think it probably took us about. I'm not sure. Let's say like 4 to 6 hours. I'd have to double check. I'm not sure.
That's quite a bit.
Probably somewhere around. Yeah, but you have to, because like there were so many more tricks that I could do solo. Like it was a lot easier solo, but also I could skip loads because of the wings on the trampolines.
I guess with the chains one, it doesn't really. There's no mechanic that helps you with being chained together.
Like I saw a speedrun of like 4 Japanese guys, and they were like they all had wings and were like doing these, like they were timing these jumps and doing them, and I'm like, there's no way I could coordinate my friends to do this.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not going insane. They did nerf this. So when we did this, you just climbed up it normally, right? And I played it again, and as I was going through it, there's now spikes on the side of this that if you touch the lines, it triggers and it pushes you off. And I was like, I swear to God, these weren't here before. And now I'm looking back at the footage. No, they added those later. Okay. Or maybe
making it harder.
Or maybe they're not in beginner mode. But if they were, I've played through the entire. No, I don't think that's true. I think when I played with wings, they were there in beginner mode. Because I played wings in beginner mode, just so I could test more trampoline skips out. Because there's an achievement for completing the game in 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I managed to do it in an hour and an hour flat, basically. But yeah, because I think the only achievement left that I don't, because you get achievements for basically climbing. There's an achievement for the speed run. There's an achievement for getting to all the different spots, climbing up the area, and then the last achievement is complete in lava mode. But that's going to be a tough one, especially because if I was doing it solo with wings, I don't think it would be that hard. But doing it non-wings with a co-op partner in lava mode, that would be very tough. especially if you like. Some of my friends don't like. Some of my friends were like, I don't play platformer games, and I felt like there was definitely like between some of my friends, it was like, okay, it's clear like you're clearly a lot better at platforming than these other people. But even then, like I could make jumps sometimes, and then I could basically they would fall off, but I could pull on the chain and then carry them across. Sort of thing.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like I think we saw it like coming up here, like the rotating cube stuff, and some people had lots of problems with. Whereas like, I guess you just like that's fine. That's just like Mario mechanics.
Yeah, like that is literally standing in a rotating block is like a basic 3D Mario. Like if you play Super Mario 3D Land or World, like that's very simple to me. But if you've never played like a platformer, that might be like quite tricky for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's even I've not played one of those games in a long time, but I've definitely done it before. It's like, yes, not the easiest thing, but like it's not difficult either to me.
But yeah, so like
if you're not used to it, then fair enough.
I was surprised how much I like changing. Like I saw it and I was thinking, because I saw it on sale and I was like, who would I play this with? And then I was like, maybe my friend Katie. And we talked about it while it was on sale, but it was only like 10% off, and it was like the game itself only cost like I think it's like £4, and I was like, well. Because it was in the Steam sale, we got it, but it wasn't on sale, and it was like, well, it's so cheap that we might as well just give it a go. And I really enjoyed my time with the game. I think I have like 8 hours or 9 hours in the game, and yeah, I genuinely really liked the game. And I'm excited if they add Steam Workshop support, because then that means I can play more like beginner mode stuff with my friends and be like, okay, obviously we're not gonna do stuff in normal mode because some of us we don't have 20 hours to, constantly reset if we fall. But, like, if we can get, like, imagine if somebody did, like... Okay, guys, don't tell Nintendo, but if somebody made, like, a 3D Mario-based level in this, that would be sick.
Inspired.
3D Mario inspired, yeah. But, yeah. Let's talk about another multiplayer game I picked up in the sale. Feather Party. This was another game where I saw someone streaming on Twitch, and I was like, that looks really fun. I don't think I would mind playing that. And then I looked at the store page, and I was like, oh, this is also like... It was like £3 on sale. And I was like, okay. Tony, you ever played Flappy Bird? You remember this game? Where people were literally selling their phones because it had Flappy Bird still installed on it?
Yeah.
Do you remember that whole thing with Flappy Bird? Didn't they create a like go insane?
Yes. Made a lot of money. Because his plan was like, I'll make a lot of money on a shit game and then make real games, but then it's like, yeah, that ruined his life.
You decided to like take it down because it was like completely stressing it out, like it ruined his life. I was like, what the fuck?
I guess people kept playing it and kept asking for... I don't know, it was like a bug. I don't know, I don't quite know the ins and outs of what made him go insane, but yeah.
Why were people so addicted to Flappy Bird? I actually don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, basically, Feather Party, it's basically like Mario Party, or like, what was that other board game one that got quite popular? I'm trying to remember.
Another...
I've played it a few times, but I can't remember the name.
Okay. Right.
Pummel Party is what it's called. It was one I've played quite a bit as well. It's essentially like this. But it's basically like that without the board. I'm one of the... Okay, so I've played Mario Party a lot with like just random friends, on the Switch and stuff. I like playing the mini games more than I like the board game stuff.
Well, the board game full of bullshit, so...
I'm not a big fan of like the rolling and the tactics of the board games. I just want to play a bunch of mini games. That's why I like stuff like Fall Guys, because Fall Guys is just all mini games. And currently, Feather Party is all mini games because it's an early access. So they haven't... They say they are going to do a board game thing, but they haven't finished it yet. I think currently... There is like a bunch of mini games they have working at the moment, and then they're eventually going to add more. So I think because I played this with a couple of friends who I convinced to get the game, because this game was super cheap on sale. It's super cheap off sale. I think it's only like an extra £1 when it's off sale. But I was like, oh, we should play this, and I think we played most of the games at that point. One thing I did think was interesting was because there was 3 of us, there was an odd number of this, so we did have scenarios where it was a team game. So like full ball, basically, or like you know the game football.
Yes, yeah.
There's a variant of football inside. This is just stuff you can do in the lobby, by the way, while you wait. So you got like your Flappy Birds, your time trials, stuff like that.
Oh, these are just random mini
Yeah,
games.
these are just random stuff, lobby stuff while you wait around, which I always appreciate in games.
Yeah,
you can do random lobby stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
What was I saying? I've actually just forgotten my whole train of thought.
It's about the odd number of players.
Yeah. So in this game,
thing.
what they do if you're playing like football 1v1, so like when I was in first place, it put me against the other 2, but actually gave me like a little random NPC. So like when I was running around, there was a little NPC that just went back and forth in the goal, defending the goal while I went out about, which I thought was really cool.
I guess better than nothing.
Yeah. I did want to talk about Flappy Bird because I'm going to be talking about another multiplayer game with one of my favorite mini games inside of it. That is not in the game by default, and it's a pay-to-win feature, by the way.
Right.
Not Flappy Bird.
Yours criticism.
I'm talking about Helldivers Stratagem Hero right now. You have to get the Super Citizen Edition, which then gives you Stratagem Hero on your ship. But I love that game. Sometimes I love games inside games more than the games themselves.
I get that sometimes. I even if I don't, like, even if the game itself is still really good, I still
skip ahead.
Mini games.
So you have basic games like this. So you have to stand in the spotlight to get points, and then randomly it goes to electric, and then you have to get out the electric because if you get zapped by it, you lose points.
And I think each other out to some extent.
Yeah. So the modifier in this one was there was no fighting, so there wasn't. You couldn't peck each other.
Okay.
And then you can see like the next game mode, like we have bullfight. So it's like like the classic snowball thing from Mario Party, where you're all in giant snowballs and you have to push each other off. It like tells you that it just reminds me of like Fall Guys, like sort of the music and the theme, but also looks like Angry Bird.
Well, those are like very bright colours and very, very party. Wait, someone fall off the edge immediately.
Mine immediately.
Is that my witness?
He thought he had more control over his ball.
Okay. I like how some of the minigames go a lot quicker than I think they should, but yeah, I guess.
These are some of I joined some random lobbies before, so I kind of learnt some of the games, and I was like, okay, I've got a general idea of how some of these work, but I hadn't played all of them. This one's quite cool.
Minesweeper, okay.
There's not really any mines. I don't know why it's called Minesweeper. I guess the dispenser is the mines, but basically this dispensing bot. Basically, random colors will go into the water, and if you touch the water, you die. Right. So if you see there, like teal went into the water, yellow and blue, don't touch those, or you go into the water. You can see here we're able to peck. So you can peck each other in normally, and you can get stunned. So that's a way to get your teammates out. And you also have a dash button. And then you're like, okay, well, yeah, how does this end? Eventually, it'll start like, it does get really hard. It'll start randomizing the colors of the tiles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you have to, like it does actually speed up. Also, this game also, as well as Fall Guys, it reminds me of another one of my favorite party games, Crab Game from Danny. I love that game, where it's just like a bunch of mini games very quick. Okay, dashed off and died. I'll see if we can find a co-op game. Oh, Tile Takeover. So I have this is my AI partner. I got a little shell that'll push buttons for me. Oh, tiles while I... So it's nice that they have that option, right? Obviously, I would say if you're going to play something like this...
Have 4 people.
Yeah, I think it is normally 8 people, and I would say, like, if you can get, like, 4+ friends, that's probably where you want to be.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun when especially when we were playing ice hockey. I was like, I loved my little AI goalkeeper. So I didn't mind having an AI partner there.
Yeah, it depends on the game mode.
The cool thing about this map is you have like this bridge, and then with tiles on it, and then you can hit a switch up the top to bring the bridge up and down, which is pretty cool.
Just to troll people. Okay.
Oh, here we go. My little goalkeeper here. You'll have like the gem. Sometimes the ball will turn to ice, so if you touch it, you'll get frozen. Or
Nice thing is burst.
Random electrical storms come on the pitch. They kind of like mix it because they have like modifiers to mix it up. But yeah, that's Feather Party. Oh, ice ball.
Is there offside rule in this?
There's no offside rule.
No, okay.
Oh, little did they know I had my boy in goal. The Jordan Pickford of Feather Parties in goal right now, so they're never getting it through. But yeah, that's Feather Party. It's an early access. It costs like £3,
yeah.
And it's just really fun. Like if you can get a copy, or maybe you can like gift a copy to a couple of friends, and then you can just play some mini games. It's genuinely really fun. And they said in the next their roadmap for the next year is they want to add 30 mini games to the game, and they're also adding a board game mode. If you're one of those people who really likes the board game aspect of Mario Party, then
yeah,
there will be an actual board game. But I'm a mini games guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about something. Is it not controversial, but something people just seem to dislike without trying, I guess?
Yeah.
I played the Concord beta because I also saw that E3 trailer, thought it was a single-player Guardians of the Galaxy game, and was very confused when I saw gameplay of Overwatch. And
yeah, because the cinematic trailer is definitely a more single-player trailer.
But people were saying like, "Oh, this game is dead," and I was like, "But they haven't even tried the game." I was like, "I'm just gonna give the game a go." And I saw a video from Digital Foundry, and they tried the beta and were testing the graphics because it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, but it doesn't have any of the like super heavy Unreal Engine 5 features. So it's not using like Lumen or Nanite or anything, but it still like looks visually very good. Okay. So it like runs really well, but it looks really cool. And they were like, "Yeah, we were playing the beta weekend, and it was pretty fun." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll give it a go." Yeah. Concord is pretty fun, I would say. My only concerns with the game so far have been the movement feels a little sluggish, which I'm a big movement guy. Like I love games like Apex, for example, and I really like turning on a dime and being able to like sprint or dash very quickly. There is a dedicated dodge button, which you need to dash or dodge sometimes to activate some of your abilities. I wish there was more of a tutorial for this thing because there wasn't really, and I was finding myself constantly confused what my abilities do because I went to the options and it was like, oh, press F2 to open your character info and you can see what your abilities do. Because I was like, okay, I need to check what my abilities do mid-match because I don't know what any of these characters do. But that didn't work for some reason. I pressed that bind several times. I tried pressing other buttons, but I couldn't get my character's icons to work. So basically, every match was me picking a character and just spamming their abilities, trying to figure out what the hell they did. Until eventually...
What do the icons mean?
Yeah, until eventually I was just like, you know what, I'll just go into the skin screen where they're like, you can change your cosmetics, and I'll just read the abilities there.
Yeah, because that works.
Because there's stuff they don't really explain how most characters have an ability when you dash. Like for example, this character when they do their like dodge move, they can go invisible, which is really useful. But the game never really explicitly tells you that there's a dash, like a dodge, even in the game.
Yeah, you got no like plays like practice range to try it out or anything then.
No, I would have loved a practice range actually. There was no practice range in the beta.
Yeah, I think that's kind of essential for these sort of games.
Oh, this character I just shot out there, they create a clone when they dash, which is pretty cool.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
I actually quite like. I think a lot of the character design was cool. Like, they do have this big like Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, but it was like very interesting looking aliens, which I was like, yeah, that's cool character design.
I do appreciate that. Yeah.
So there's also you have unlimited ammo in this game, but there's no way to regen health unless it's built into your kit. So there is characters in the game that are healers. So you can heal yourself with them or heal other people. But there's no like role selection. So if you go into like a team deathmatchy game mode like I'm playing here, it's just kind of the luck of the draw if you have a healer or somebody picks healer.
Right.
But the way they do it is on the map, they'll have like these... it's more like an arena shooter in the way it works, where there's like a healing, like a med pack on the map, and basically it'll be up to you to go and pick it up, and then it'll be on a respawn timer. So basically, like, it's sort of like a mini objective, which I like med packs in games. You have med packs in stuff like Overwatch, cool. Team Fortress 2, like.
It's more like controls, or more reason to be in certain areas, right? Or like more control.
Yeah, with stuff like TF2, because in TF2 you have no regenerating health, but you also don't have unlimited ammo, so you have to fight over like med packs and ammo packs and stuff like that. And then you also have ammo as a resource with like the engineer, because he needs metal to build buildings. But I'm not here to talk about TF2, even though it is a very good game. And I feel like 90% of the people who love games like Overwatch, if they just tried TF2, they'd be like, oh man, this is really fun.
Yeah. Everyone forgets about TF2.
But sometimes I'd be playing a character and I'd jump and I'm like, wait, I have a double jump? Or I'll be playing a character and then I'll be playing them for like 20 minutes and I'll be like, wait, I have a jetpack? Like, it's not something the game ever really explains to you.
Yeah, and again, you can't try it out.
Enemy disrupted.
There was a decent roster. Like, I'm playing more of like a stealth, quick character here.
With this character, okay, right.
Yeah, this guy I'm fighting sort of more like, I would say Cassidy from... I have some footage of me playing him. You got a 6-shooter. You can do a dash, which reloads your weapon. And you can also heal yourself, which Cassidy doesn't do. But so here's me playing like a healer character. And I'm going to try and figure out what the hell his buttons do.
I guess you'd have more role-based stuff if the objective. This is just, you said this is just team deathmatch?
So when I queued up, it was like there was only one game mode available, so I couldn't actually queue up for something else.
Right.
It was just... So this is essentially... It was team deathmatch where whoever gets the most kills first wins, and then this game mode was sort of team deathmatch. When you kill people, they dropped a card, and then you had to pick up the card, and I'm not sure what you did with the card, but maybe it was the first to get a certain amount of cards won. I actually had no idea how it works, but I guess that's how it works. So this is more like a healer character here. So I did play some other game modes. I think I got some footage of some of the other game modes. I've got some Cassidy gameplay here. I mean, sorry, new alien that is not Cassidy.
Cowboy alien.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a 6-shooter. Your dash reloads your gun, which is very useful. And then you have...
with the sensor though. That's kind of cool animation.
You have a knife that you can throw to... Oh, so you see these little blue things here? You know, like I have abilities. They don't recharge over time. You can get them again by these little blue things on the floor. If you kill somebody, they drop them. So the way to recharge your abilities is by killing people, which I thought was kind of an interesting way to do it.
That's kind of cool.
So you can't just go and hide and spam. Like, that was a big thing with Concord, was there's no regenerating health and there's no like regenerating abilities. You have like charges, and the only way to get health and more abilities was to be aggressive. So you had to like push med pack points, or you had to push kills in order to get more ability charges, which I thought was a really cool idea. Yeah, sort of like almost reminiscent of Doom 2016's like glory kill system, right?
Yeah,
Oh, oh, sorry. Duke Nukem Forever's glory kill system. You know,
You did it first.
got a shout out to the OG. You know. But yeah, there's that. I have some more. So let's see. Signal
What's it
chase.
called? Concord, by the way.
What? Why is it called Concord? I have no
Yeah.
idea. There was a cutscene at the start of the game that was super long, and I'm like, dude, don't give me a super long cutscene before I even play the game. Like, let me play a bit and then try and get me some lore. Like, don't watch this. There was a character I actually really enjoyed called Hamar, where basically you had like a fire crossbow, and the more you charged it up, it then went into like a super increased damage mode, and she dealt a ton of damage, which was really cool.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
But I liked how she was balanced, where like from afar you dealt like there was a couple of sniper characters, and it was like, oh, you deal a bunch of damage, but then there were specifically characters like, I think their name is ITZ, or there was also this character that was like melee only, so you had to like, you would charge at people and you would deal like a bunch of damage with like knives. So I like how it was balanced. Like, I dealt tons of damage from afar, but if one of those like close range characters or like this tank guy got close to me, I was in a lot of trouble. Like, I was really not good at close range stuff.
That's something they put a lot of thought into balancing like ideas for characters and things. Then, like, it doesn't seem like half baked. Like, in terms of thought, at the very least.
But this was one of the objective based things. This was more of a capture the objective sort of thing.
Which you were saying earlier before, because like, you prefer the objective stuff, right? Like
yeah. So in like in TF2
modes.
or like Overwatch, I'm more of a. So my favorite game modes in TF2 would be Payload Race is one of my. I like Payload.
Yeah. Yeah, Payload's good.
Payload Race specifically though, which again doesn't exist in Overwatch. They
What makes
took
it different
Payload.
being a race?
So in Payload, you have one team defending, one team attacking. So it's very static.
Yeah.
You can only win by defending. As a defender, you can only win by attacking against the attacker. Payload Race, there's 2 payloads for each team. So you have to attack and defend at the same time, and it's more dynamic.
Idea.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So it's like, oh shit, we need to stop them pushing their cart, but we also need to press our cart, so you kind of like split objectives, which I think is a really interesting dynamic. And like obviously Overwatch copied a lot of TF2's DNA, but they never copied Payload Race, and it pissed me off because it's the best game mode in my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
King of the Hill, which does exist in Overwatch, is basically there is only one. I think this is King of the Hill. There's only one objective point, and you're both trying to attack it, so you're constantly fighting over it. Again, I prefer more dynamic game modes. But there is like attack defend, where you are the defending team and you are the attack team, which exists in TF2 and used to exist in Overwatch 1, but they actually removed it in Overwatch 2, the static attack and defend, and just kept. This is the point where I figured out I had a jetpack.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of that, the free weekend stuff, or the beta weekend stuff, was just like people
So yeah,
new stuff.
do I have more footage? I might have more footage of Concord. I've got more Cassidy. My thoughts on Concord are, it's fine. If Concord was free to play, I would play it because it's actually pretty fun. But the fact that it's gonna cost like, I think it's gonna cost like £30 or £35, it says to pre-purchase here. I'm like, I don't know about that. That's not.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, I would be okay with purchasing a multiplayer game, but like, with so many great like, Overwatch 2 literally was one of the last big pay-to-play multiplayer games, I would say.
Yeah.
Overwatch 1.
For sure.
And like, you can see how literally Overwatch 2 was free to play because they knew that they couldn't. It's so hard to release a pay-to-play multiplayer game these days.
Yeah, I think you have to have some sort of single player attached to it to make it make any sort of sense. And even then, like, do people even care about it?
Yeah, this is like, easily they could sell cosmetics versus make it a free to play thing. I mean, outside of like, because like co-op stuff like Helldivers 2 obviously was very popular for PlayStation because this is a PlayStation published thing again. So I hope that they're pretty hoping on like a they're banking on a another Helldivers 2 situation which becomes insanely popular somehow. But
I'll
yeah,
have to see, but I feel like it's not going to be quite like that.
I would like to see them improve the movement of the game. I'd like to see more game modes because I also played. There was more like of a Counter-Strike Valorant mode where you played round based. So when you died, you were out of the round, and then it was like the last team standing one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting as well.
Because Valorant's really popular, and Counter-Strike is really popular. But you know what both of those games are, Tony? They're both free to play. So it's like, hey, do you like round-based elimination stuff? It's like, well, you can either play Valorant or CS2 for free, which are insanely high production games, or you can spend 35 quid to play this. I think it makes me worried about the future of this game, because I think there is genuinely a lot to like about this game. But I would say I think it needs to go free to play.
I always thought there should be like maybe either like a really cheap or like a free tier, and then there's like you can then get like a ton of cosmetics off of the paid tiers. Like,
thing
what
is,
I would
like
like to see from these sorts of games.
The problem with games, multiplayer games, is if I spend £35 on this and then nobody's playing it and I can't find a lobby, then that's a lot of money wasted. Whereas if I spend £35 on a game, I enjoy it and I play it single player, it doesn't matter how many other people are playing it.
Yeah.
But I was playing the beta weekend, and some of the game, like I was mainly playing Team Deathmatch, but because that had the shortest queues, like I was struggling to. I tried to queue up for like the round-based one, and I couldn't find a queue. Like I waited for like 10 minutes in a queue, and I was like, okay, I'm not waiting 10 minutes in a queue to play a game mode. That's, I'm not that bothered about it. I'll just go off and play something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on Concord.
For sure for multiplayer games.
There's definitely a decent game in Concord, but I think there's some changes that need to be done.
Yeah.
Given that they're already doing pre-orders for the game, and Tony, this game's coming out next month. So
really?
I don't think they're going to change the direction of this game to be free to play at any point.
No.
We won that because everybody in the enemy team left.
Makes sense.
But yeah, Tony, let's talk about a really good multiplayer game. Let's talk about Stratagem Hero. Stratagem Hero is probably one of the best games ever made. Also, have you seen my armor? So
it looks great.
I was like, this is the most fucking Warhammer armor you can have. I'm definitely armor. Yeah. So in this game, armor has different stats and actually gives you a passive. And I'm like, no, this armor looks the coolest. I'm not changing it.
So you went after bolt gun. You went for the Warhammer look.
Yeah, I'm liking the Imperial
the Ultramarine,
Space Marines look. Yeah. But yeah, constantly my friends are like deciding the mission, and I'm like, guys, hang on, I'm playing Stratagem Hero. So if you don't know, in this game, Helldivers is. I feel like I don't know how to explain Helldivers because everyone's played fucking knows what Helldivers is at this point. You ever? It's basically co-op humans versus bugs, but it's done in the most like Starship Troopers way, where it's like or the Confederate. You remember the Enterprise episode of Star Trek where the Vulcans come down the Earth because they've discovered Cochrane has discovered warp technology, and then he immediately shoots them. One of the best openings in Star Trek history to an episode,
and it has like a fake intro sequence.
And it starts the what is it? The Terran Empire? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. These are Terran Alliance.
But it's like an alternative, it's an alternative universe version of the Federation if they were just like ultimate dictatorship and just took over everybody. This feels like that sort of energy. Like, there's two types of people that love Starship Troopers. There's people who get its satire and love it, and there's people that don't understand its satire and love it. Like, it just appeals to both of them.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. Maybe a bit concerning, but fun.
But yeah, it is that. One of my favorite quotes from the game is "Enjoy this cup of liberty" as you throw a grenade at some bugs.
I just find it hilarious. It's like it's not Earth, it's Super Earth. Like he didn't need to
Super
change
Earth.
it. It's just-
You are
it's just
super
like, yeah, on
soldiers
the
sent
nose.
to defend
Yeah.
Super Earth. So I completely missed out of this one in the beginning because it was super popular when it launched, right?
Yes,
And it wasn't
yeah.
until like I think a few months ago, my friend Martin, who's a game student, he just finished his last project, and he's been wanting to play Helldivers for a long time because he was super excited for the game. He played it a lot, but he got really busy with school, and he was like, "I'm finally done. I can play games now." I was like, "Oh, you're gonna play Helldivers too?" And he was like, "Well, do you want to play with me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, it's one of those games where I look at it and I go, looks pretty fun, but I don't know if I would play it for a bit and get bored of it." And he was like, I'll get you a copy and you can try it. And I was like, okay. Because I think that's the thing with Helldivers too, that I will say immediately. The game is infinitely more fun with friends, and I would say you're almost missing out the experience playing solo, I feel like.
For sure. I can see that for sure. Yeah, because there's just those are like team killing, but by accident or accidentally on purpose sort of stuff. Like
it was crazy. It was like me and Martin started playing it, and I started streaming on Discord, and my friend Halo Andy's like, okay, I'm buying the game, I'm going to get it as well. And then it just started this cascading event of everybody else was like, okay, well, he was like, oh, I'm going to get a copy of it for my wife, and then, oh, I have the game as well, I just haven't played it in a while. So everyone was like, just started playing Helldivers. I was like, this is so fun. And like, one of my friends who I never play games with, he's like level 100 on this game, and he was like, he only plays Helldivers. I'm like, yeah, let's play with Liam. I love playing with Liam.
It's just one of those things. Is that if you play it, then everyone else starts playing it, sort of thing.
I find that's the thing with multiplayer games is
yes,
it's so hard to be the person to be like, I'm going to buy the multiplayer game myself. But if you can convince like one or two people to get it with you, it like cascades this event of, hey, I want to play this multiplayer game, to, hey, a couple of us already have this multiplayer game. It's like, well, I'm down to get it now. But the reason I love Stratagem here is because as you play the game, calling in everything you have to do by pressing your arrow keys, like a stratagem. It's like playing Dance Dance Revolution every time you do something, and it's done like. It feels like they could simplify it, but it's part of the game's DNA that it's like.
Yeah.
It's like objectively. It's like
that.
It puts you in this scenario where you're really stressed out, and it's like, oh, I need to quickly type in this stratagem, but I'm getting attacked by a giant bug.
It definitely adds to the chaos that this game.
Yeah.
As done as not played it, it's definitely fun to watch. Like I really like the environments.
I fucking love Helldivers. I'll just say
cool.
straight up, I fucking love Helldivers too. It's definitely my favorite multiplayer game of the year so far. It's insanely like. Well, I'm thinking because Multiverse is re-released this year, and I was like, I don't really like a lot of change Multiverse has made because I did play Multiverse's re-release, and then Chained Together's pretty fun. I like Chained Together. Feather Party's alright, but I think Helldivers 2 has been my biggest multiplayer love right now. I love how like as you kill bugs, your arm just becomes covered in bug guts.
The visceral.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it. Visceral feedback.
And I feel like as you go up the difficulty levels on the game, it almost becomes like a different game. Like playing on the lower difficulties can be fun to fuck around, but when you get to the high difficulties, like your screen just becomes full of bugs, and it's like really fun when you're just like mowing them down. Like I'm already a fan of killing bugs, like Rock and Stone Brother. I'm a Deep Rock Galactic fan. I really like co-op shooters. Like famously, like I would say like the gold standard for co-op shooters has to be like Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. Like just finding a way to make mowing down waves of enemies really fun. And I think Helldivers 2 has got that great balance of, hey, it's a fake democracy. Everyone is super patriotic. There's team damage, so you can murder your friend. I remember my friend Martin was like high level than me. He calls down a mech, and I'm like, oh, that mech looks really cool. And I'm like, I'm just, oh, Martin, there's a giant bug behind you. And I just shoot him with a rocket and blow him up. And I'm like, my mech now. Like half the fun sometimes is like just team killing your friends.
Making that fun is the difficulty in some games. People like Rage, but I think the way, the premise and like the the theme
The
of it
game
makes
the
it
game is set
inherently more
up in a
fun.
way where every weapon you summon or use is really easy to team kill your teammates with.
Yeah,
But it's also
yeah.
really cool.
That I guess it's part of the balance to some extent, right? It's like you can
Like
accidentally
there's
kill
these
each other
things
with
called
weapons.
Tesla coils that you can cool down that will just zap bugs, but if you or any of your friends go near them, they'll just zap and explode them. And or like there's an orbital laser that will target bugs, but it will like the turrets or the orbital lasers will target bugs, but if you're in the line of fire of the bug, it will just shoot through you because it has no idea of target selection. So you can be killed by your own turret a lot of the time.
That is hilarious though. Again, some weird way of balance, I suppose.
Yeah, there is also you can also be set on fire, and the only way to not be on fire is by diving. I love just diving everywhere
hell
for no
diving.
reason. Hell diving, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the passive of this armor as well, because a lot of the armor would be like, oh, you can sprint faster or do stuff faster. My armor, the cool Warhammer armor, this passive is you have a 50% chance to avoid lethal damage. So it's just like,
Oh, that's good.
sometimes I'll be like, I'll blow myself up completely and I'll just somehow survive, and it's like, yep, 50% chance I
And
make it,
somehow-
50% chance I don't.
Somehow
I won the
pouncing
coin
with
flip. But yeah, it's really, really cool. And there's like tons of weapons to unlock. So there's like SMG, shotguns, like your standard rifle. But there's also like energy weapons and more like science fiction weapons. And you unlock them by leveling up your character, and then you spend upgrades on your ship. And the constant like grind of the game, I would say, is you want to get what are they called? I always called them Rwandan dollars because they're called like R credits or something. I can't remember what they stand for.
not Republic credits.
Republic credits, yeah, but I always call them Rwandan credits because I'm like, yeah, in the
Yeah.
future everyone goes to Rwanda, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
We're inside
yeah, so
it, and then
the money to spend on upgrades for guns, and then you also have samples you need to find, which forces you to select certain levels of missions because you can only unlock certain samples and certain difficulties. So it's like, oh, I need rare samples to unlock this upgrade for your ship. So like, for example, you can upgrade the hangar bay in your ship, and then your bomber based airplane stratagems will have a 50% reduced cooldown, will be one of the upgrades.
okay.
So when you go into the mission, you can select different stratagems, and you unlock different stratagems by buying them on your ship as well. So
Different missions require, well, not really a requirement, but you prefer different strategies. Then.
And there's not just, I don't think I have any footage of it. I don't think. Let me check. I think I only have footage of bugs. But there's also, I don't know if you know this, there's automatons in Helldivers.
Yes. Yeah. I know early on people didn't know about it, and they got surprised by the robots.
Yeah, I've actually only ever fought automatons once. I don't think I've fought them more than
Really?
once. I don't know. Bugs are definitely a lot easier, especially for beginners, because it's just like
Yeah.
you explode them. You they don't have any much range attack. I mean, there's like these bugs that'll shoot like acid at you, but it's mostly just you fight them head on sort of thing. But there is automatons, and there's like high caliber rifles or like riot shields, and it's like, why would you need riot shields against bugs? But with the automatons, they can shoot you across the maps as long as you need like a riot shield to get to them. So there's entire stratagems that are really good for automatons, and there's stratagems that are really good for bugs, and there's also
That is cool.
automatons that are like, oh, this is really good for this play style and stuff like that. Or it's just what you prefer or what you have.
Yeah.
What you have or what you
I
want to
appreciate
equip.
that. Yeah, I really appreciate that, and they all look. Maybe not all of them.
Like
but
because
most of
you
them look
you
really
can
fun
get
to
like
use.
the recoilless rifle to take down the big bugs, but I like the expendable because you get two of them, and it's like a one-time use rocket. So you pick it up, you fire it at like a bile titan or something, and then you just pick up another one and you shoot it again. So it's very, very easy to get in and use. Oh shit! There's a bile titan.
Yeah, the sensor scale is really cool. I have to say.
But did we get him with the napalm strike? Drop some rocket pods. It was really fun when we were doing an achievement the other day. I think there was an achievement to fire like 10 stratagems in succession of each other and just seeing the chaos that went off with that. Let me have a
How
look
many
at-
stratagems do you get at most? For each?
You get to take 4 with you, and you'll stick a passive as well.
Right. Okay, right.
And the way the unlocks work is you have unlocks per level, but there's also things called war bonds, which are basically kind of like they're like static battle passes. So basically, as you level, you get what are they called? I'm trying to remember now. You basically get this other currency that's just for like the battle pass thing, and this allows you to unlock new tiers basically. And once you've spent enough on that tier, then you can go to the next tier. But every single tier, you can buy it as a microtransaction, but every single tier of the battle pass you can unlock in the game through just playing the game.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I unlocked
You
a
just,
tier
like, you can
recently
just
just
play
by
it.
playing the game. Like I haven't.
Yeah.
I did end up buying the Super Citizen Edition bundle, which I think was an extra like £10 or £15, but that was solely so I could play Stratagem Hero on my ship.
On your own show, yes.
Yeah, I also
Yeah,
didn't buy
it's
the
a
base
massive
game
show.
because my friend Martin bought it for me. So I was like, I'll spend like £10 on. Because constantly they'd be like, oh, do you want to host the lobby? It's like, no, because then I can't play Stratagem Hero. I need to be on your ship because you got the Super honestly, I didn't want anything else on the Super Citizen Edition. I just literally wanted Stratagem Hero.
That is funny.
Yeah.
£10 well spent then.
You do get access to one of the premium war bonds, I think. And you get like a couple of unique weapons, but I think most of them have like alternates in the base game. So you don't
Right.
like you don't need the Super Citizen Edition, but it is if you're a Stratagem Hero expert like me, you need to get it.
You have to practice in your own time. You have to have it on your ship.
But yeah, we do so much dumb shit in Hell. Like that's my favorite stuff in Helldivers is just doing dumb shit. Like not necessarily, we need to grind and do this mission. I will just team kill my friends. We'll just try and throw down as many stratagems as possible and just create chaos. Like sometimes I'll just grab a, I'll just grab a explosive barrel and carry it across the entire map just to see if I can, because you move really slowly with it, and if someone was to shoot me or an alien was to attack me, I'd just blow up. But yeah, like
Task successful then?
yeah. Well, you can melee where you have the explosive barrel. Sometimes I'll just walk up to it like one of these big bugs, and I'll just try and melee them to death with the explosive barrel to see if I can do it. But you have like achievements like cool guys don't look fly at least 25 meters from the shockwave and explosion, or
Right.
what else is there? Hot potato, throw back a live grenade. That which does not kill you, be injured on all limbs at the same time.
Right. I assume the
There we
grenade only players have grenades. Is it so someone throws a grenade at you and you throw it at something?
I think maybe it's for the bots, that one.
Oh, okay.
Like doing so in the achievements, like so it's have 6 orbital barrage stratagems in the same place at the same time. That's one of the achievements we did. That's fucking
Right.
chaos, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Or like we did a really so when you come down with the hell pod, you can actually land on your teammates or enemies. When you call down ammo, you can call it down on enemies. I got the achievement for killing a charger with a resupply pod. That took us so fucking long to do. Because chargers are super like armored, so we had to like take them far enough down that they would be
without killing
them, and then we'd have to ammo drops on like a 2-minute. They're on like a global 2-minute cooldown. They're not like a stratagem you take with you. They're like a general stratagem. I love the soundtrack of
Oh
Helldivers
yeah.
as well. It's very like imperialistic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Patriotism.
I fucking love Helldivers too. I think it's a really fun game, and I think I would recommend it to most people to play with friends. If you're going into Helldivers to play it like solo, you may like it. I think I prefer to only really play it with co-op with friends, so I don't know how much I'd recommend it as like a single player game, because you will. I think it doesn't scale based on how many people you are. It may, but the jury's kind of out on that from what I can tell. So you might need to just queue up with random people, which results may vary based on
Never
that.
as fun. Yeah. I think most people play it with
But
friends,
as a
right?
co-op
It's
game
the
to
most-
play with friends, it's a
Yeah.
fun game. So that's all the multiplayer games
looks
I've been
great.
playing recently, Tony. There's an hour-long tangerine on that.
Yeah. I think a lot to say for a lot of them. I think
Yeah.
kind of evenly spaced. Yeah, mostly.
I was expecting to talk about like Feather Party for like 2 minutes and then Helldivers for like an hour, but here we are.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows Helldivers, so it's just your
Yeah, this
experience, I suppose.
By the way, guys, one of the best selling games of the year is really good.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. But yeah.
No, it's good to see.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.